Hey, what's up, guys? This is Adam Beasley from Lazy Guy DIY, and tonight we have an awesome panel that we put together that is all things the Builders Challenge. We've done everything from the Furniture Flip Challenge to the Artist Challenge. We have the Big Build Off. We have all kinds of things. We have special announcements tonight, and we even have a giveaway at the end here. So thanks for everybody that's going to be jumping on and joining us. We're going to run through and introduce everybody here in just a second, but just for everybody that's jumping on, we'll keep saying this. As you were watching, you can comment in the comment section, and then those questions will come up here. If you have questions for anybody on the panel, we'll be able to see those and answer. So make sure if you're on YouTube, Facebook, wherever else, on Twitch, make sure you write those messages. You can say hi, you can do whatever, but we want to hear from you guys. So at first, we're going to start off here up in our top corner with Dave from Walrus Oil.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Dave Darr. I am founder of Walrus Oil. We make wood finishes and other random things like lip balm and leather care goods, but mostly wood finishes. That's like what we're mostly known for.
All right, Jesse.
Hi, I'm Jessie. I'm from Eye in the Detail, and I am a DIY blogger and Instagrammer, and I'm one of the hosts for the Furniture Flip Challenge.
Me. So I'm Kara from Never Skip Brunch. I am Jessie's co-host for Furniture Flip. I guess she's over there. I'm also a DIY content creator, and we have a DIY community together. So yeah. Cool.
All right, Brian, go for it.
Hey, everybody. This is Brian Kramer, and I am the senior editor of Better Homes and Gardens Do-It-Yourself magazine, and I was asked and thrilled to serve as one of the judges for the first season of Furniture Flip Challenge, and we'll be coming back for the second season.
Yay!
Awesome. And as I said, I am Adam from Lazy Guy DIY. I'm also one of the co-organizers of the Builders Challenge with Rachel down there, but do a little woodworking, tool reviews, and home improvement. So, Graham, on to you. Unmute, Graham.
Someone had to do it. Hey, I'm Graham from Minerva Enterprises. I was part of the Furniture Flip Challenge and the Builders Challenge. I do custom furniture and then Scandinavian and Danish mid-century furniture restoration.
All right, Two Mooses.
We're Two Moose Design. We sell furniture online, and we're just now starting to get more serious about the whole content realm.
Yeah. All right. And you're a part of the Builders Challenge as well. You're part
and
of
the Builders Challenge.
All right. All right, Rachel. Rachel's on mute too. It's all right.
I practice too. I practiced unmuting that, dang it. Okay, I'm Rachel, co-creator of the Builders Challenge. Adam and I, we created it. It's in its 6th year. I've been woodworking for about 7 years, and that's pretty much what I spend most of my time doing, woodworking and the Builders Challenge creating.
All right, Amy, our big winner.
Hey, I'm Amy from hertoolbelt.com, and I'm a blogger that shares woodworking plans and does little home improvement projects. And I was the winner of the inaugural Big Build Off. Woohoo!
All right. So what we're going to do here, we had people that submitted a lot of questions throughout the week. And as you all, I see Miley Byer there has said hello to us. But remember, you can leave comments and we'll be able to see those questions there. But I'm just going to round robin around. I have questions from people that we're going to ask. And it's only fitting that we start with Rachel first, since she's the most nervous to talk. And she's also the original creator of the Builders Challenge. I know, but also if you're just joining for the first time and you haven't been a part of the Builders Challenge, that was the OG. It started a few years ago, I think in 2016, and it started with a plan, and people just started building from it. And from there, it spawned off into everything else that we're doing right now. And that's sort of the brainchild that came from Rachel and a few friends. And then we've since grown and grown. So with that said, Rachel, what was your favorite Builders Challenge build or design?
That is such a good question, but I think I would have to say my favorite was the first time that we collectively all designed the plan. Probably the bar cart That was like one of the best ones where we really just decided, like, you know what, maybe we should create the plan. And turns out like you're great with SketchUp, and we had a fun time doing it.
I mean, comes naturally. It's okay after lots of years of screwing up with SketchUp. So I was going to ask Dave a question. Well, next, but he left. That's okay. So Brian, we'll go to you next, Brian. And Brian, as you said, has been one of our judges for the Furniture Flip Challenge, and we're excited about this because we have a whole crew here that are part of it. But Brian from Do It Yourself Magazine, what we want to know from you is what trends should we expect in design in 2021 that you're seeing?
Oh my goodness. Trends. I think, of course, we're going to continue to see that interest in mid-century. It is going to just keep. It's going to just keep going. It's going to get. I think it's going to get cleaner. It's going to get a little leaner. But yeah, we're going to continue to see that. I'm hearing that some of those things from the 80s that we thought were gone and over, that beige is actually coming back as a valid color choice. Now I've seen some beiges. I know. I feel like I've spent 20 years telling people you don't want beige. So there are some interesting beiges. Everybody has discovered gray, and I mean gray has been the story for 10 years now. But it's a warm gray, and it's going to get even warmer. And then fancy people are going to call it beige.
Well, I know when you say mid-century modern, we have a mid-century modern expert here, and that's Graham. Part of a lot of the furniture that he does is mid-century modern. So, Graham, one of my questions for you that we got is, where do you draw the line with furniture if you think it's beyond repair? Because you've done some nasty stuff that you've brought back to life. Like, what is your breaking point for furniture if you go out and find it?
Honestly, it just happened the other day. Someone asked me if I wanted a table that was so waterlogged. It was like, veneer and like MDF or substrate was so waterlogged and swollen. I think that's kind of where I draw the line. If someone really wanted something done like that, you have to basically build a whole new, tabletop out of either solid wood or find some MDF and do a whole new veneer top. And it's just too much work and too expensive at that point.
Well, talking about finishing wood, we have Dave Dar here from Walrus Oil. So Dave, what made you make the jump? Like, you started out with like wood oil, and you have expanded out into like everything under the sun, from like log cabin and lip balm and even boot oil. Like, is there no stopping you guys? Like, what's on the horizon for Walrus Oil?
Oh man, I've learned that there is a limit. Like we've tried some stuff, like beard oil, ironically, was like huge for us, and I just didn't want to make it anymore, honestly, because I felt like it clashed. And we've made other stuff like aftershave and things like that. So I've kind of learned not to go like too far in skincare, because then it's kind of like what are you? Are you like a wood finish company? Or are you going to make like, I don't know, like nail polish one day? So I do think that like this year it's going to be more focused on like we're just spending insane amounts of money on manufacturing equipment. So it's just more or less like trying to keep up with demand. And I wish I could say that we have this super awesome product we're going to release this year, but it's probably going to be more or less like the boring stuff. Like, oh, we just bought a $50,000 bottling machine, and like just stupid stuff, like a $10,000 capping machine. All it does is spins a little cap on your bottles and that kind of thing. So that's sort of like, yeah, it's like the uncool part of running the business, where it's like you're just spending all your money on manufacturing. So that's kind of where we're going this year. I will say I have a really crazy spin-off product that is going to be made by us, but it's under a different brand that I'm going to release this year. But I won't say anything. But it'll be like the most ridiculous thing. Like, what the hell were you thinking?
We won't tell anybody. It's okay. RC Woodshop says that you should bring back the beard oil.
Oh, I know. It's crazy.
I can get behind that one.
There you go.
We might do it. Like, we have some products like our tattoo balm was like really popular, and apparently it's like crazy popular in Iceland. So like we might make it just for our distributor in Iceland and just call it good. I don't know. We'll see. We're at like max capacity of manufacturing. So like whenever we have more free time, then I can do all that crazy stuff too.
Awesome. All right. Just a reminder to everybody that's watching right now, you can go in and you can leave comments and questions for us. We want you all to drive some questions for us, whether it's about individuals, anything that they've worked on as well. This is your chance to ask anything under the sun within reason. Don't get too crazy. So next we're going to go to, who should we go to next? All right, Amy. We'll go to Amy. What was it like to have Clint Harp announce you as the winner for the big build off? And before you answer, for those of you all that don't know what the big build off is, it was sort of like our all-star event for the Builders Challenge. And we had a bunch of people. We had 5 people competing. They went several weeks building a dining room table that they donated as well. Amy was our big winner, and Clint Harp was our judge and announced it all. So, Amy, what was it like to have Clint announce you the winner? And how did you watch like as a family and everybody jumped down and cheered? Like, what happened?
Well, it was totally surreal. I honestly could not believe it. It was crazy. I mean, it's Clint Harp. He's on TV. That's it was, the fact that he even, saw something that I did was, pretty cool. We were just sitting around the computer, just watching his YouTube video. And I remember my son, he was completely shocked. He couldn't believe he said my name. It was just really neat. And I still can't believe it. But anyway, so exciting.
And he did a bit of fake out too, where he said oh, it's I like such and such person's this, and then and Amy's the winner. And yeah, it was one of those things where it's fun. Where I know Rachel and I got to see who won well ahead of time, and trying to keep it secret was not easy as well, because I think I talked to you earlier that day and I'm like, don't give anything away. So
well, I was pretty sure I had it pinned on who won, because there was some pretty amazing work, and so I was like, there's no way. And so it was just a huge shock.
All right, so next we'll jump to our never skip brunch up here. What colors are your favorite to work with right now, and what do you want to incorporate the most this year?
Ooh, that's a tricky question. So normally I'm all about color, if you can't tell. Lots of pinks and golds. But recently I've been going very gold, and I've kind of been into gray. I painted a couple cabinets gray in my house. It's very very warm and beigey, so it looks like I'm geared up for being on trend. But going really neutral, but still a lot of gold. Everything is gold.
Perfect. All right, our 2 mooses, Jeff and Jess. Between you all do a lot of production work, I know, and you do a lot of furniture as well. So between like the signs and like the different smaller woodworking projects and the furniture, what is your favorite type of work that you're doing right now out of your shop?
Pretty much anything that's not production. So pretty much anything we kind of make for ourselves. Like the Builders Challenge was a great opportunity to make something that I don't make every single week, and to actually design something and make something that's not a tray or a clock or some small shippable item.
Yeah, same. Anything that's not the typical weekly thing, switch it up a little bit.
And I think the other big question that everybody wants to know, and we'll get you all to answer, how many pets do you all possibly have at your shop?
4.
4, yeah.
There's a cat here, 2 dogs there. I don't know where the other cat is.
Perfect. All right, guys. Next, Jesse. What is a home improvement project that you've wanted to tackle that you've been intimidated by?
Ooh, I haven't gone to my kitchen at all yet, and I really need to do all of my cabinets over again, but they're cherry, which, is pretty nice and expensive. So I've been a little intimidated to really like get in there and tackle that, because that was like when I moved in, that was probably like one of the nicest areas in the house. So I've like saved that for the very end. So, but that's happening definitely this year. So who knows? Beige, maybe? No.
Perfect. All right, guys, get those questions rolling in too. We want to see some questions asked to our panel here. So, Brian, we're going to come back to you. Do you all look towards it, Do It Yourself Magazine, and then anything else at Meredith? Do you all look towards the influencer community for inspiration? And then if you do, how would somebody get noticed by you guys?
Sure. I mean, the answer, yes. Of course, we're looking to influencers and everybody who's creating content on blogs and social media, and all of the social medias. And so what are we looking for? We're looking for, your eye gets pulled to the next shiny thing, just like any other viewer. But in terms of what then fits into our magazines and our websites and our brands, we're looking for people who are not only taking beautiful pictures or making funny quips, or but they're like telling stories. And I know that's a trite thing, and so many people talk about being storytellers, but even judging the Furniture Flip Challenge, for me and the other editor who I was judging those contestants with, the folks who could say, here's the piece, here's what I got, here's the inspiration, here's the challenge, oh, here's some progress along the way, and voila, that's a story, that's a beginning, a mussy, middle, and then a finale. And who can do that in their posts and in their other things that they share online, those are the people that rise to the top for us, and that we want to do more than just show their pictures. We want to find out more about them, because they're telling stories, and if they're telling stories, they probably have more details that, through interacting with the magazines and the editors and the designers at Meredith, at all of our publications, we can get even better, more interesting stories out of them that can be great for them and their brands, as well as for our brands.
Awesome. So when you look at my background back here with a chicken urn over there, and am I on trend? Do I need to answer that?
This is good. It's good. There's interesting things. I mean, for some reason, I've got this like half blank thing here, so I can barely, critique anybody's set dressing tonight.
That's okay. All right, we're gonna go back to Rachel here. So, Rachel, are you ready?
I'm unmuted. I'm good.
Okay, I just wanted to double check. So, as we've expanded the Builders Challenge, and of course I know the answer to this, but I think everybody wants to hear, as we expanded the Builders Challenge the last few seasons with Furniture Flip Challenge and the Artist Challenge and everything, what is it that you want to see next from this?
From the umbrella or from a specific challenge?
Let's go from the umbrella.
I feel like we've hit into some really good challenges. The Artist Challenge, the Furniture Flip Challenge, Big Build Off, those were all really successful. And this year, I'm excited for the 10-day challenge. I love when we listen to our followers and their comments, and we take from that and create a one-off. I love that we have like our concrete 4 challenges, but then we also have the ability to test the waters, because we've got great friends that we can like sucker into always doing something extra with us. So yeah, I'm really excited this year about the 10-day challenge, which is going to be good.
Awesome. So in order to encourage people to have more questions here for us, our buddies from Moss Epoxies, who have done a great job of pulling this together for us, are going to offer a $150 gift certificate to Moss, and we're going to award that to somebody. It has to be in the continental U.S., but we're going to pick from the questions that people are submitting here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch. So if you were writing questions in there, we're going to pick a winner from there. So make sure you're asking questions so you can win from Moss there. So a little enticement. And Rachel teased the 10-day challenge. We'll jump to that here in a little bit with Dave and something exciting that we have coming up here very soon. So next we're going to go, Jesse, we're going to come back to you here. So Jesse, one of the questions we had for you was, how do you find the balance and what's a good tip for being a maker and a mom?
I feel like there is no balance. You just kind of have to wing it. I feel like I definitely have 3 kids. My husband is gone quite a lot. So it's just like a free for all. Sometimes there's cereal for dinner and that's as good as it's going to get. And everybody is happy and everyone's alive at the end of the day. So we're good. And they like to help too. They really like to be a part of everything. So that helps too sometimes.
That's fun. So a hope and a prayer, and then just make sure they're all so you can see them all off camera, right?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, Graham, another furniture question for you. Where is the best place to find hidden gems?
Ooh, I don't, if I knew that. A lot of times I get a lot of stuff at auction. And then Facebook Marketplace, there's a lot of stuff on there that people don't know what it is. And they list it as wood shelves, and it's like a $1,500 wall unit or, mid-century table that they call a wood table. So you never know. You always gotta be looking. I find stuff on the side of the road that's in like perfect condition. The bed I did for my daughter as part of the furniture flip challenge, I found on the side of the road, and it's up in her bedroom right now. It's awesome.
And you're in the Philadelphia area too, so you have a shop where you do a lot of the stuff where you pull it together and then refurnish these things, and then you're selling from your shop as well for a lot of these things. So check out Graham Minerva Enterprises if you're in the Philly area. There's a plug there. So you're welcome. So we'll go back to I always want to say Kara or Cara. I'm sorry. Which way do I go?
You can do either. I respond to anything, but Kara, technically.
Kara, technically, officially from your parents. Yeah. So Kara, where do you find your inspiration for your design aesthetic?
Yeah. So I like to find it weird places because I think when you look in other areas, it's like it's good to get out of the cycle of Pinterest and the same old images you're seeing like in the design world. So really random, like in a song or walking down the street or a lot of restaurants. Like I think that's the big source that would make sense to people because the rest are just in my brain. But restaurants, like they can go crazy with style. So you can find really wild designs that you wouldn't think translate to your house, but when you can find a way to make them work, it becomes like really unique. And if you can make it part of your story, that's another good place to look. Instead of looking outside at inspo, think about like your story and what pieces of that could translate into the space around you. So that's like a trick, quick hack.
Perfect. All right, we're getting questions rolling in right now. So this one, I'm going to go to our 2 mooses over here from Jeremy Rockstro. What types of products do the builders make when first starting? And what would you suggest for someone thinking about starting out with hobby sales to a business?
So for us, we started with that pipe furniture.
Mm-hmm. The industrial.
Because it was pretty easy to make because you just buy all the pieces and you can kind of screw them all together. Then your woodworking can be pretty simple. But just get making. So many people try to find that perfect item or try to figure out what things to make. Just start building it and let it come to you. Or Pinterest, there's all kinds of different.
Yeah, get inspiration and start somewhere. See what sells, offer more than one thing, and go from there. All
right. And I'm going to put Rachel on the spot again for this one. And this is from Melanie Beeler, I believe. What's a tip that you'd give to someone that's newer and considering their first challenge?
I would say, and we're actually changing it up this year for the Builders Challenge, but I would say when you get the challenge, a lot of people let themselves get overwhelmed by it. I do as well. And I think going step by step, kind of like what Jeff and Jess were saying, don't look at the piece as a whole, break it down. And the pieces of wood suddenly just become a piece of furniture. So also, we have a couple of amazing participants that are novice and they never let the challenge stop them from participating. So they will fit the challenge into their capabilities, which I'm always extremely impressed with what they come out with. In the end, it's inspiring for myself. And the number one thing is pick one thing per challenge that you want to focus on, that you're going to push yourself to try, that's something new. That's kind of why it all started, and that's something that I try to do for myself each time I participate in the challenges as well.
All right. And just a reminder, I'm going to keep saying it as people are watching. You're watching all over different channels. So make sure you leave questions, comments in here, and we'll get to them here to the panel. So, and we also have, most everybody has their Instagram handles up as well. So if you want to check out their stuff, you can. So with that said, Amy, what is the craziest build that you've done? I know you've done your basement with playhouse in there and all kinds of things. What, in your opinion, is your craziest build that you've done? Amy, you're on mute.
Oh darn. A turkey shed. Just kidding. No, I got my start building, working on the farm, and we've built a number of turkey sheds. So, but I think for my house, the basement playhouse is definitely the most involved project that I've done, and it's very well loved, and it's really gratifying that they use it, and they're able to spend a lot of time there and enjoy that.
It's fantastic. It's like a whole play place, like in the basement, like a whole little house. It's crazy. So Dave, rumor has it that before Walrus Oil, you had a different career path. What was that?
Oh, well, there's been a lot of career paths. So which one are you referring to?
The musically inclined one.
Oh, okay. All right, I didn't know. Yeah, so I used to own a like hardcore metal record label and magazine. Yeah, that was. I don't even like that music anymore. I mean, now it's like I'm into. I got into like electronica, like techno and stuff, and I was a DJ for a while. So yeah, I went. Yeah, now I listen to like classical or something that's more soft and. I don't know. But yeah, it was a crazy time. Did you want me to tell like an exciting story or something like that?
If you've got one, you can go for it for a second while people are writing questions in. If there anything we should be worried about from the industry?
No. The crazy story that that happened to me was I was trying to impress this girl at a music festival, and I broke my leg in the process. So yeah. It was like one of those outdoor music festivals, and it had like a big like lake thing with an island on it. Huge music festival. And we canoed out there, and it was a rope swing, and I was like, hey, watch this. And our rope swung off the cliff, and it like wrapped around my ankle and like hung me upside down and broke it. Yeah. So that was my crazy story of the music industry.
Amy wants to know if you got the girl.
I did. Well, I mean, we dated for 4 months and then it didn't work out, whatever.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, Dave, we also have you in the spotlight right now. What we can also do is we have a 10-day challenge that's coming up. We'll have Rachel give a little bit of the details behind it, and then Dave, we'll let you announce what's special about the 10-day challenge. So Rachel, give us the whole rundown.
The details. So, just based on feedback from you guys, we realized that sometimes a week is not enough time and 2 weeks can be too much time. So, in brainstorming for this year, we thought 10 days. I mean, let's just give you guys a challenge and see if you can do it in 10 days. And we were really, really excited when Walrus Oil hit 100,000 followers because this was the perfect opportunity to partner with them. And this is it. It's the Walrus 10-day challenge. So, I mean, do you want to take it from here, Dave?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I was like so humbled that we hit like 100,000 followers on Instagram. It's like super huge. And I mean, some people have 1 million, but still, like, I was like way stoked. 100,000. And we did it during the pandemic when, like, you know, a lot of people are like broke and stuff. And so we were thinking, like, we wanted to do a giveaway, but instead of like, hey, here's a box of Walrus Oil, we were like, what if we just gave away like $1,000 like cash, like just money, not a gift card, just money, right? Because like anyone could use $1,000 right now, you know, and so we connected with the Builders Challenge and we're like, hey, would you guys want to throw together like a thing where people make stuff and you judge it so we can give away that money?
Yeah, so we did it because we're going to make you work for it. Duh. At least a little bit. At least
a little bit, yeah.
Work for that 1K.
So basically, are we going to like say what it is? Like, is that?
We're not giving the details on the challenge, but we will tell you that we did a brainstorming and Dave and Adam and I came up with the challenge. And we'll be sending that to your emails on, what did we decide, Adam? February? The first Saturday in February. We always stick with like the first Saturday of whichever month we pick. So I want to say that's the 6th.
Wait, I have a calendar. I can tell you.
Yeah, right? Yeah, February 6th. So that'll be hitting your email. February 6th, we will give you a challenge. You'll have 10 days to complete it. And we're super excited that Tamar is going to be our judge for that. So
that's Tamar from 3x3 Custom.
Yep.
Yes, sorry. You can start hitting up her DMs and impressing her now. And we're just super excited about it.
Yeah, way cool.
And it's gonna be fun and quirky. So that's basically because that describes Dave, right?
That's right.
So that would be his challenge.
Like that.
So that's $1,000 cash prize, guys. So that's pretty exciting. So, all right, we'll have more details on that coming out. So we'll look forward to that here next month. So, Brian, from the Furniture Flip Challenge, what were some of the things from the winners that really stood out from you? Like, what is the eye-catching things what can people do to impress the judges? Is what I want to ask.
Sure. Of course, the storytelling component, which I've already said is so important. We want not just pretty furniture, but to have a story there. And since the materials that you submit to show your project are all based in Instagram, it's a great way to tell a before, a middle, and an after. And so we love that. I see quite a few projects. I see quite a few furniture makeovers, room makeovers. I've been doing this long enough that I'm always looking for those things that make me say, oh, how did they do that? You know, like I can figure out a lot of things, but when I can't figure it out, that's when you hook me. And so it's really great when I see a finish that is surprising, a texture that's surprising, a color combo, sure, but lots of times it's a detail that you choose to add to it that gives it that personality that tells your story, that, you know, reinforces your brand and everything. And those things make the piece special, and they catch the judge's eyes, and they make you stay with the project longer. And the longer that I look at your project and read your post that goes along with your submission, the better the chance you have to win.
It's very funny to hear the difference of how you approach things from like with our with the Builders Challenge or anybody else. It's very different because it's very visual, and it's just this, and this. I'm looking at this assembly on the furniture builds, and as opposed to the refinishing. So it's interesting to see the difference of how you approach it compared to the other judges. That's why we have such a different set of contests as well, especially with the Artist Challenge. And unfortunately, we don't have a representative from the Artist Challenge tonight. So I'm stepping in for our Moss person there for that. And what the Artist Challenge is we're using epoxy a lot of times. They're smaller projects, a lot like the mini 10-day challenge. We've done a few of those where people have made some amazing things. So there'll be more of those coming up. But same thing with the judges, you get a feeling about those things and just has an emotion that comes from that. And if it looks pretty with those, a lot of times that's the way I think that we can really catch our eyes. So back to Furniture Flip as well, we have our two hosts and wants to see what you all thought feedback wise from this past year, the first one that we did, the inaugural Furniture Flip Challenge. What stood out to you all? Like, what was most exciting to you all? And you can fight each other who talks first. Or
I think it was like the community that we built, like around everything. Like everyone really like joined in. It was just like really cool to see everybody like cheering each other on. I had a whole bunch of people like message us, and they were scared to start. And it was just like a bunch of new people. And everyone was just like really like helping each other. And I thought that was like pretty cool to see.
Yeah, definitely. And then the piece where it's like furniture flipping, I think is how a lot of people get into DIY, because you just buy a sander and a paintbrush and you're kind of like ready to start a project. And so having all these people like, I've never done a project before. Like, should I do it? And I'm just like, yes, you should. Like, you might not win, but like, you're going to have a community like cheering you on. You're going to have people to watch and look up to and learn from. And so it's so cool that people like dove in all the way. First projects.
Yeah, and you know, as somebody coming later to the project and sort of seeing the final results, that confidence building, that sort of it comes through. You know, that sort of I didn't think I could do it, and they really mean it. They're not being coy. They have never done this treatment. They've never used this tool before. They've never taken apart a piece of furniture and realized that you can put it back together. And the confidence is really exciting, you know, to see that new skill that, you know, you kind of discover that you always had it, you know, but like it's sort of activated in these projects, which is cool. And you guys did a great job of encouraging people just to try things. Just you can use this tool.
Yeah. Go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah. Nothing to lose.
all right, I think Amy is going to share something here from Jeff and Jess off of IG. Amy's not going to.
Snacks, 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 I don't wanna put them back. Snacks, 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 please don't make me put them back. Cheerios, goldfish, gummy bears, and cheese.
All right, so now that we know that you hide snacks in your table saw, what other snacks do you have hidden around your workshop there?
Oh, Cheez-Its. What'd you have for them little mini Tootsie Pops?
Any big giant bags of candy I see at the store, I like to stash in the shop somewhere.
I try to put them back.
Perfect. Now, one of the things that I also was going to ask for Moose, that question came through, is what's it like working with a significant other? Like, is it difficult? Do you all just kind of flow together, or like how does that work? How do y'all make it work? Because you look so happy and everything all the time on camera. Is a happy Moose place up there?
Most of the time, we definitely clash sometimes, but we more so have it dialed now to where we each kind of have our own roles. So she kind of does like 90% of the back end stuff, where I do a lot of the building. So she kind of does a lot of the customer support, and then I'm just putting all the stuff together. Then she'll come and do like a lot of the detail type work. So we kind of keep each other in our own lanes.
Awesome. Quick question here from Matt Loomis. Matt was asking about the Builders Challenge. Is it sort of a community thing? And absolutely, Matt, it is a community thing where we basically have different avenues where people can build different things. You can make different things. You can flip furniture. We're going to keep expanding. Big Build Off was kind of the all-star thing. So we're going to keep trying to embrace as much as the maker community as we possibly can. And try to include everybody and keep growing and make this one giant community. So I am running out of questions right now. So if anybody else on the panel here, this is your chance to talk to all kinds of people. We have a little bit more time. We have about a little less than 20 minutes left. If we need to end early, we can. But this is your chance to talk to an awesome panel of people. You can submit questions still on YouTube, but you guys as well that are on the panel, if anybody has a question for anybody, let's fire away. Maybe. So I'm going to go with, we're going to go with Amy. If you could work with one person, who would it be? And Amy's still on mute.
Yeah, well, I didn't have an answer. Gosh, probably April Wilkerduce, because she's pretty much awesome. And I just love her zest for projects and, you know, just get her done. And she just goes for all kinds of crazy things.
Like a giant, like her giant staircase or like treehouse type thing that she has right now is absolutely crazy. However they designed the steps going up from there is a very different way that I would think that would collapse under a normal person. But it's secure. It looks awesome. But we have Donovan from Once Upon a Workbench just jumped on here saying hello. Donovan, if you have questions for the panel, go ahead and throw it out there to us. So we'll
pick me.
Okay.
I have like a question for, I can think of questions for all of you guys. Like, who wouldn't want to take the opportunity to pick everyone's brains? But okay, this one's for Jeff and Jess. So I would want you guys to say joinery that you started with, joinery that was always intimidating to you, but you've now like conquered, and how did you go through that process in building? Because I think from someone who started like novice in pocket joinery, you start to want to advance your technique. So if you're someone who's going from novice to intermediate or craftsman categories, how do you take on advancing your joinery techniques? Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah. I think everyone kind of starts out with like the Craig jig, and that's kind of what we did too. It's just it kind of gets a lot of hate on like YouTube and stuff, but it's just so simple and easy to use, and it's been around forever. It's kind of hard to really compete with it. And to kind of step up your joinery, I think something like the Builders Challenge is a great way to do that, just to kind of, I don't want to say force yourself, but kind of really push yourself to kind of try them new things, especially when, I don't know, there's just so many different options. I don't know. I see a lot of people doing
so
like.
So if I've done pocket, what do I do? Like, what's next after pocket holes? What did you do? Or what's a good one to try? What's like dovetails is very intimidating looking to me. What would I do next?
I see a lot of people doing like the 30 days of dovetails challenge, where they'll just take a bunch of scraps and then just cut a bunch of hand cut dovetails and kind of put them together. But I think like getting just miter joints is clean miter joints is a big step up just from basic butt joints, and just kind of go through the entire realm, I guess.
I like it. I like it.
So Rachel, before you go to your next question, before you get to your next question, we have one from Billy Howard here. He's asking about the challenge. Are there any restrictions on material used? And with that, Rachel, I can answer it. It depends on the challenge. If it's the actual builder's challenge, we want to use, depending on the category, you can use your normal construction grade lumber, but we also have different categories. We want you to use some more premium wood, I would say. So people building stuff that have a lot of walnut. So it all depends on the actual challenge and what the parameters are, but we try to make it so there's different intermediate, novice, finest finish, finest craftsman. So we can kind of mix everything in there. All right, Rachel, what's your next question?
Okay, so this one is for actually Jesse and Kara and Graham and Brian. Are you guys also excited? Okay,
Yes.
So my question is, what's the DIY project for Jesse and Kara that you tackled and that you hated the most, that you were like, why did I do this? And so for Graham, you can think on this one, what is a piece of furniture that you tried to restore or that you did, but you were like, this is impossible and it didn't work out, or this is impossible and it did work out? And then my question for Brian is, okay, you're the editor of Do It Yourself magazine. Are you a do-it-yourselfer kind of guy too? Or do you just like to throw the content together? And if so, like, I want to hear about a do-it-yourself project you've recently done or ever done, or we're going to shame you if you say you've never done it. Okay, go in that order, Jesse.
Okay, me. My first, is that what?
I can go first if you don't have one yet.
I feel like mine would probably be to strip paint. Anytime I like strip something, it's like I really regret my life decisions. And I wonder why I ever thought I should strip it. And then I'm like, I should have just left it. It looked beautiful like that. Let's just leave it and move on to the next project. So anytime I do that, by far is my least favorite DIY, I think. There's been a few, I think.
For sure.
Right?
Mine was painting my garage floors, which I thought I was going to be so smart and use this like concrete paint instead of epoxy. And we were going to have white floors and it was going to be so unique. And it took like 12 layers. And I had all the stuff like piled and piled. They worked out, but it was miserable, the process.
All right, Brian.
Me. Okay. Yes, I do actually DIY. I came from a home. My family owned a carpet paint and wallpaper store as I was growing up. And so my dad sold all these things, but he also installed them and brought a lot of products home. And it was very like, hey, we're going to learn how to hang wallpaper this weekend. And, I would get to help. My dad is really, really picky. So I have become a very good painter, good wallpaper. I still totally an assistant on like installing wood floor, linoleum, other sort of like I let him lead those kind of projects. But yeah, I mean, having become a homeowner myself, I love to garden. I love any project that involves like surface transformation. I'll do some light electrical. I don't touch plumbing. You should just not. I'm not even really good at replacing faucets. I seem to go too tight or too loose. And 2 days later, I've got a drip and I just have to get a plumber anyway. So I'm not allowed to do plumbing. And yeah. Was there something that was I regretting something?
Yeah. Have you ever like done a DIY and you're like, that was a bad idea. Don't do that myself.
There was a phase in there. This was early on, and I wanted to use glaze, for like a glazed wall treatment. This is like, 20 years ago at this point. And I was like, wouldn't it be neat if the glaze had a greenish tint to it, And so I had like a green base coat and then a green glaze on top of it. And it was a wall, and it just, the whole room sort of ended up looking like kind of a Jolly Rancher, like it was kind of shiny, kind of shimmery, but kind of weird mid-scent. It was not a good effect. And just had
Chunk
to neutralize all that glaze. So be very careful with glaze.
Yeah, I had one last question for Graham. Do you remember it, Graham?
Yeah, I do. You had asked if there was a project that I thought was impossible that turned out to be impossible or turned out all right, basically, right? I'll say that during the beginning of the pandemic, when we went into quarantine, I started 2 separate projects that I both thought were going to be impossible. One was a cane back chair. I've never did cane before, and I did a press-in cane, and I was so nervous doing it the whole way. And then, like, as I'm finishing it, it turned out like so good. And then I also taught myself how to weave Danish cord. And so I've been weaving a lot, and both of those things were just like, I never thought I would be able to do it, and then I just did it. So pretty happy.
So good segue there. Donovan actually had a question where he was asking, and anybody can jump in here. Do you all feel like you're doing more or less with everything going on with restrictions, with COVID, quarantine, everything? Like, where do you stand right now? And feel free to raise your hand and jump in.
I think I'm doing about the same, maybe less. More projects for myself to kind of resell as opposed to more custom stuff, because I can't do any like trade shows or anything like that to get new custom business. So that's where I'm at.
For us, it's kind of been about the same. Like the beginning of the year was everything happened, and then it was kind of rocky for a little bit, but we were still plenty busy. And then we got really busy because right away we didn't know what was going to happen. So we were taking on a bunch of work that we wouldn't normally take on, but we never actually slowed down. So we just got buried. And right now we're this is my last big batch, and then we should be back to like normal life.
Anybody else want to jump on? Or we can go to the next question, actually. So has anybody ever considered branching out? This is from Donovan also. Has anybody ever considered branching out into different areas to find a new audience?
I mean, I thought about your tutorials for like 2 seconds, but no. DIY, I'm here to stay.
So I know for me, one of the things that
we get teased every now and again.
So we talked about I started doing home improvement projects, and then I branched out to woodworking and then tool reviews and everything, and I've done a little bit of epoxy. So I think it's easy to chase trends sometimes and try to jump on those, but I think a lot of times you want to kind of stick with what you're comfortable with, because you can throw a lot of money down the drain also if you try to chase something new and it may not work out for you. Like talk about like CNC, one of the things, if you don't CNC and you buy one of these things, and there's so many people that have those that never use them because they're so difficult to set up. I mean, that's a new audience you try to go after, and you can really go down a rabbit hole and never come back from that. So Amy's got one.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if it's something you enjoy, branch out. If you're just chasing people or numbers, then it's probably not worth it. But just do the things that you love.
All right, guys, we have about like 5 minutes left here, so keep submitting questions here for the crew, and we'll wrap it up here in just a second. So it's your last chance to ask a couple questions. Another question from Donovan. Donovan's all over this tonight. So with the price of wood skyrocketing, have you considered other mediums to work with?
So surprisingly, our materials haven't changed at all. And we actually talked to our wood supplier about this, and they said that like the construction realm of wood is completely different than like the realm of wood we work with. It comes from a completely different supplier. So our wood rates have stayed exactly the same. But I would like to try different mediums just for the sake of trying new things.
And Rachel, I'll let you ask this question from Wade Michael. up there.
Okay, we've got one last question for all. Who is each person's most influential artist, architect, designer, craftsman? How have they influenced you in your day-to-day work? So who wants to take that one?
Not everybody at once.
I
jump
will
in
thank
first.
you if you
I
don't
gotta think a
want.
little bit.
I know who influenced me the most. My favorite designer is Joy Brigham. I think it's no surprise. I love his mid-century modern stuff. It's amazing. We were so excited to have him be one of our judges and plan designer. I got to collaborate with him, and he's just like my woodworking hero. Like the stuff he makes is amazing.
I'll go. Mine is probably Leanne Ford. I like that her design style is amazing, but she's also just fearlessly herself. Like she shows up to TV with like straight bedhead, just like, I'm here. What can I help with? Like, but her design is like, so she just brings together all these elements that you don't expect. So I think the element of surprise and then just seeing different combinations of stuff is really inspiring. So yeah.
And Jesse, do you have somebody you want to jump in?
Well, it's totally going blank over here. I was really hoping you were going to call my name. I was like,
You had the nervous look. It's all right. We can go to Graham. Graham's ready if you need a
I
second.
like that.
Yeah, so I think I could pick a couple, but just in the realm of furniture, I'd have to say it's a toss-up between Finn Jewell and Hans Wegner. They're both like, OG furniture designers there, and they make some really good stuff. I own some Hans Wegner stuff. The Finn Jewell stuff is too expensive for me right now, but it's between those two.
And I'll throw Brian on the spot. Brian, is there anybody that's influential to you that you like to, just their designs, aesthetic, architect, artist, designer?
Sorry about that. I mean, there are many. I love I love a lot of like fine artists, which is always becomes a kind of abstract connection. You find color, you find texture in that. I love some of the mid-century people sort of pushing fine art in either abstract or sort of structuralist directions. Rothko with just those. I can get lost in his very simple color stories, but you can look at them for a while, and there's something so thoughtful about the combinations of color and shape that go into something like that. Ellsworth Kelly, that simplicity of his stuff, of his design, it creeps you. So yeah, I love to see great art and then think about how that would work in a room, in my clothing, in my life. That's a inspiration for me, definitely.
Awesome. All right, guys, that was going to be our last question. Before we go here, we're going to have a couple things that we just want to touch base on. Again, we thank you all for having us. We're going to pick a winner for our Moss Epoxy $150 giveaway. What I'm going to have everybody do here real quick is just tell your handle again, where people can find you. And then these videos will stay live. Questions asked, even if you're watching this afterwards, we'll still see some of the questions, and hopefully we can get to those again. We'd love to continue to have these throughout the year, especially as we have challenges kicking off. So as we have Furniture Flip, Builders Challenge, whatnot, we'll have some deep dives so we can have you all ask questions on your builds, on your flips, on your artist challenge, any of those things. So we're excited to have an interactive platform for that. So Jesse, we're going to put you on the spot back up top again and have you say where people can find you.
I'm at Eye in the Detail, and you can find me at Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Pinterest, all the things, YouTube. Kara.
Is it me? Okay. Kara, you can find me at Never Skip Brunch. Spend most of my time on Instagram. I love TikTok a lot, probably too much. And then you can find Jesse and I, when you're over here, Jesse and I, over on Let's DIY Big. That's kind of our community space. So during Furniture Flip especially, we'll be featuring all of your projects. But we try to have that as a place where you don't just watch us do our projects, but you can kind of connect with other new friends and feel inspired. So yeah.
Awesome. And I'm Adam from Lazy Guy DIY. You can find me everywhere, website, Instagram, not on TikTok. I do not TikTok. Sorry, guys, girls, but not my thing. But that's where you can find me. So we will go down to Rachel.
Oh, you should go to me last, and I'll go through the calendar of events. So
okay, we'll jump to Two Moose.
You can find us pretty much anywhere. Just Google Two Moose, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. All of them.
Don't throw the extra S on the end of Two Moose Designs. That's another guy. He'll get emails and not know what's going on. I found that out the hard way. So just Two Moose Design.
All right, I'm Graham at Minerva Enterprises. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok is awesome. Adam, you're missing out. Yeah. Website, Etsy.
All right, Amy.
All right, find me at hertoolbelt.com or any of the socials, and I'm still iffy on TikTok.
All right, Brian. Oh no, Brian's muted again.
Oh no, I'm back. So yeah, Brian Kramer, and the handle that I am using for the magazine is at Do It Yourself Magazine, and of course, the big thing that you should be looking for is Better Homes and Gardens Do It Yourself Magazine. It's on newsstands. It is available for subscription, digital and print. And it is a quarterly magazine coming out by seasons. It is ideas for home and garden, small projects, large projects, beginning building, intermediate building, and yes, even some home maintenance, home repair. Sometimes we'll throw in a cocktail recipe. It's all sorts of fun, good stuff.
Perfect. And we also had Dave Dar from Walrus Oil. We had some technical difficulties, so we did lose Dave. But you can find Walrus Oil at Walrus Oil and their website as well, and on Amazon. So great stuff. So, and before we have Rachel wrap up here and give us the rundown of all the events that are happening with the Builders Challenge throughout the year, just a special thanks again to our friends at Moss who helped us with this platform here. And so we'll work on the giveaway and we'll reach out to you guys for who the winner is for the $150 giveaway. So Rachel, close this out.
All right, guys, just to wrap it up, you can find everyone that's been on our panel tonight. We also have a brief bio about them on our website, in addition to links, so that we made it really easy for you to be able to find everyone that was here tonight. So thank you guys again for joining us. Coming up next in February, we've got the 10-day challenge. We're super excited. March, we've got season 2 of the Furniture Flip Challenge. April will be the Artist Challenge. May is going to be of the Builders Challenge. So super excited about that. And then we'll here with another Artist Challenge in July. Another Flip Challenge with your magazine in September, and then we'll close out the year with the Builders Challenge in October. So we're going to keep you busy all year, and if we didn't hit it, you guys want to happen, let us know, because even though Adam's lazy, I'll work hard and we'll make it happen kind of together. Right, Adam?
That's why we have Rachel. All right, guys, thanks for everybody for joining us. We appreciate it, and we are out.